Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Thank you for your support on Patreon. Luke was on a train when he came up with his name, Derek Ayala. Sorry about your Patreon name as well. CM Punk plans in WWE revealed, Bray Wyatt getting a new female friend in the Firefly Funhouse, and an 8 JoJo controversy, and an update on the Mauro Ranallo situation from yesterday. Get the old time codes in the video description down below to jump to any of those stories right now. Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk Trustworthy News. I'm El Fakador Laurie Blake, aka Blakey 2 times, as I am the two-time winner of the Wrestle League predictions competition, and therefore the best guesser in all of the land. So much so that I'll predict the Royal Rumble winner for you right now. It's gonna be Keith Lee. We'll come back to that at Rumble time. And you can say, wow, Laurie, you were so right. Speaking of Rumble winners, Becky Lynch just became the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion. Yesterday, her run reached 232 days, besting Ronda Rousey's 231-day tour with the title. Becky was obviously chuffed to pieces, tweeting, "I've just become the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion. So I'm thrilled to be in the tag division right now." Which is kind of dumb when you say it out loud. But this does mean that she could be Becky 2 belts if that Kabuki Warriors match happens at TLC. Or she could end up green. And with sort of reddish hair, so she's basically Gamora. From why is Gamora to where is CM Punk and what are the plans for him? Somebody tell me, because the best in the world was having a rest in the world last night rather than appearing on WWE Backstage on FS1 this week. When asked why he wasn't on the show by a fan, he told them that he wasn't booked through the medium of a meme. Cageside Seats are reporting that his no-show was nothing to do with Triple H appearing on the show either, where I guess they could have had that conversation they both keep saying that they're open to, but seemingly haven't had. Get it together, guys. One conversation that apparently is happening, though, is for a legit WWE booking for Punk. Yes! PW Insider are reporting that the company are keen to feature Punk on more WWE network programming. Which kind of makes you think, if a pipe bomb goes off in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? But at least it's good content for the WWE Network, because Insider are saying that Steve Austin wants to interview Punk for the Broken Skull Sessions series. It is said that there's been lots of talk backstage about making the interview happen, although it's currently unknown if anyone has actually contacted Punk. Will people just talk to Punk? Now, one person unafraid to openly chat Punk to Punk in public is AEW's Le Champion, Chris Jericho, who spoke to with spandex and ended up on the topic of CM Punk. We knew there would be a Motley Crue reunion, and we knew CM Punk would come back to wrestling. It was just a matter of time. I think he came back with more of a sigh than a scream. It seems kind of funny that he came back on a show that drew 150,000 viewers where it could have been 5 million viewers. But if it's part of the process to slowly wean him into the wrestling business, then good. He's back for the first time in 5 years, and no one really cares. But I'm sure it will lead to more. I don't see how it can't. What do you mean no one really cares? What about this?
Hannah, CM Punk returned to WWE. He returned.
Ollie cares. His lady partner less so. Somebody else who cares about Punk's return is Vince McMahon, who, according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, was furious at Seth Rollins for responding to the CM Punk chants on Raw this week, because Vince doesn't want to be building to a match that isn't in the plans. Because you know what, if these things happen, people get over, matches happen organically, it's a disaster, isn't it? Just look at Daniel Bryan, look at Becky Lynch. Absolute train wrecks. Now, this could also obviously all be one big work too, to put the CM Punk match out of your mind, so that when he shows up in the Rumble and is eliminated by Keith Lee, we're all like, wow, that was the greatest thing I have ever seen. Keith Lee is amazing. Laurie was so right all of those months ago. Because also, to add to the it's all a work way of thinking, you would think knowing your boss is cagey about mentioning C who shall not be named, or calling guys out for matches when they're not supposed to be on the cards, would make you think twice about doing it. But here Seth is, all over social media with it. He mentions it on Raw, and he even said it in an interview with 103.5 Kiss FM that he is ready for a match. Which probably is something you shouldn't do if your boss doesn't want you to do it, unless of course your boss is in on it. Anyway, Seth said, yeah, we interacted. We had a singles match, that was 6 years ago. We're in different places now and a match would look a lot different. We'll see. He says never say never, I say when. Well, I say street and you can say profits. He also revealed that his aim all along was to get the CM Punk chants going on Raw. He said, let him know you want to see him on Raw. Let him know you want to see him in a ring. Let him know you don't want to see him behind a desk hiding in Los Angeles. Now, this interview was all conducted pre-slow heel turn on Raw, which is something that actually only makes me want to watch the match between the two more. A returning, hugely over CM Punk versus a guy who thinks he's still the babyface in the company at Mania. Yes, please. Side order of Keith Lee. Thank you, sir. I'll take that. Now, someone else who was pleased with Seth's shift to the dark side was Bray Wyatt, who had been pushing Rollins to deeper and darker places during their ill-fated feud leading up to Hell in a Cell, and The Fiend eventually winning the Universal title at Crown Jewel. But seemingly the darkest place for Seth Rollins, and the most pleasing for Bray Wyatt, the misappropriation of blame. I knew you had it in you, Seth, tweeted Wyatt post Rollins telling off Raw for being rubbish at Survivor Series, which they all were, him included. But interestingly, this is also a little fan theory that's going around at the moment and potentially a sub-gimmick for The Fiend. Whichever side of the face-heel line you go into the feud on, you come out as the opposite. Something we might also see happen with Daniel Bryan and something that happened with Finn Balor, who went in as a face and ended up as a heel on NXT. And the Fiend-related drama is set to continue on SmackDown this week as Bray has teased that a new face will debut on Firefly Funhouse this Friday. Now, some assume that this would be a new puppet, while some reckon it might be Sister Abigail in some form. Adding some credence to this rumor is WWE wardrobe designer Erica Gimbel, who posted a video of her drawing this sort of ghostly Victorian-y style dress with the Funhouse theme playing over the top, saying, "Let her in, Bray Wyatt." So this certainly seems like a sort of Sister Abigail style character, though I'm kind of sure that that was the point of Abby the Witch. So maybe this is just like a fiendette. Just a female character joining the cast in general. And I mean, the rumor going around at the minute is that Liv Morgan, who's been conspicuously absent from WWE TV and had a blacked out profile on Twitter for ages, might be the candidate. Or it could just be Bray wearing a dress again. It's one of the two. Or Harper, what's he been up to these days? And just how big is Erica making that dress? Speaking of Harper, weirdly kind of gets me into thinking about WWE contract limbo. Not entirely sure why. And a pair who have been doing the negotiation dance with WWE Backstage for the last few months are Rusev and Lana. Front of house, Lana has been doing the tango in the night with Bobby Lashley, and Rusev has been dancing with himself. Five-fingered waltz. Now, that courtship dance with Lana seems to have paid off, as WWE announced yesterday that it signed a new multi-year deal with the star. According to Pro Wrestling Sheet, a 5-year deal has been inked that also includes the ability for Lana to take time off for non-WWE projects. However, they also noted that Rusev has not signed a new WWE contract, as that saucy sex addict is apparently right in the middle of ongoing contract talks with the company. That probably goes something along the lines of, if I stay, will you give me my wife back? But enough about Monday Night Cuckfest, because the Red Brand got a cucking of their own at Survivor Series, where the crew in yellow and black came out on top and made NXT the A brand in WWE. And with that big win under their belts, you'd imagine NXT was about to hit the big time. But apparently things are staying pretty much as is on weekly TV through to March next year. Because according to PW Insider, WWE remains contractually locked into regular Wednesday night shows at Full Sail University until the end of March 2020. And obviously there's been plenty of speculation of WWE taking NXT on the road to bigger venues outside of Florida in the future, God forbid, which seems to fit with the sort of trial run of featuring pay-per-views on Sunday nights that they're doing, starting with NXT TakeOver Blackpool 2 and the Portland event in February, kind of making NXT stand on its own away from the rest of the WWE umbrella. But one man whose status with NXT appears to be a bit up in the air is Mauro Ranallo, who, as you probably know, deleted his Twitter account following comments from Corey Graves on Twitter during TakeOver War Games, and then was notably absent from the commentary team during Survivor Series. Now, at the time, it was reported that he would be back for NXT's regular program programming on Wednesday this week, but now, according to John Pollock of Post Wrestling, that is not going to be the case. He reports that Mauro won't be on hand to call the show tonight, and it's currently unknown whether NXT will use a two-man booth or have someone fill in for Mauro like Michael Cole did on Sunday. It's Keith time. If this does turn out to be true, it means that the situation is worse than previously thought. One, because we might be getting Michael Cole on NXT, and like I said in yesterday's video, I'm really hoping that Mauro gets back to feeling healthy and happy and returns to our screens when he's ready, because we love him. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up as it really helps us out, and why not subscribe if you aren't already, because it's the only way to stay up to date on all of WrestleTalk's completely biased coverage of WWE, AEW, and the world of wrestling. I've been El Fakador, and that was Lucha.